Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is Katie Huff Ministries with Setting Yourself Free, and I am so thrilled. You're getting 2 for 1 today with Dr. Michele and Dr. Mark Sherwood out of Oklahoma, who are absolutely all about health, wellness, spirit, mind, body, and they are here to share with you some great information regarding where we're at today on, I don't even know what the date is, June 9th or something? Somewhere around there. It's been a whirlwind for the last 3 days, and where we might be even like on November 7th. So I'm excited to hear from them and what their heart's speaking to us in regards to, where we are today and where we're going to be in 6 months, because we're here today celebrating and honoring God first, and what our country needs for us to be healthier and happier. And so I'm just thrilled to have Dr. Mark and Dr. Michele here. You're absolutely 2 of my favorites. I love you and appreciate all that you guys do to make us healthy, and your passion for people to be healthy and happy, mind, body, spirit, like we were talking about. So,
Katie, it's such a pleasure to be with you today, and it's always a pleasure to be with my husband.
Yeah, I get to be with my queen. It's like cool, man. I like this.
Yeah, I love what
we
he
need
said.
to do this more often.
Yeah, I know. You said something about a rib, and you're his prime rib.
I did.
We can
My perfectly glazed
Yes.
gray smoking hot lumber.
That's
it.
right. So I'm thrilled, and as we are sitting here together, which is always such a blessing, because obviously I have them on my podcast that are just helping my audience, you, to get healthy is the biggest thing, and they have the experience, and they do genetics, they do all kinds of things, and they do so much I can't even remember all of it. That's one of the reasons why I have Michele. I'm like, Michele, can you help me with hormones? Because I'm sure you ladies are so appreciative of this. I can't even remember my own name, let alone your name. So I'm glad that she's going to help me with hormones. So there you go, girl.
I just have such a passion for women's health and navigating the second half. Once we hit that 50 years old, it should be the golden years. We just need a little bit of assistance, and we can help you out.
Thank you, Jesus
Kind of
and
crazy.
Michele.
I was in the office like for 10 years as the only guy, right?
Yeah.
So
God bless you.
I know, right? I learned the value of estrogen dominance, right?
Yeah.
So but she is very skilled at women's health, and it's such a talent. I've learned so much from her, in my life with her anyway. But I watch so many ladies get well, which is pretty cool.
Well, we all know that sleepless nights don't do anything for us, because we've had conversations about how bad sleep deprived is for everything. And when you have hormones that aren't functioning, you're not sleeping. So it's like this dominoes effect. And then, of course, you're talking about the spiritual component. You're definitely talking to Jesus on a regular basis, because like, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah. Well, you said one of the key words there is sleep. If sleep becomes dysregulated, then we produce that hormone
Cortisol.
and then it's all downhill from there, because the whole system becomes dysregulated, upset, and the hormones can't communicate right. The glands don't communicate right, so you've got to get things back in balance so that the brain can talk to the rest of the endocrine organs.
There you have it. And it's so simple, but yet it's very individualized so much. Because I was telling Dr. Mark when we were on the podcast about the pellets that they put in my butt, and they're in there, and if it's not working, you're stuck for 3 months until it's obviously disintegrated, or there's no more estradiol or testosterone. And I know that when I have them, and everyone's different, because the pellets can be awesome for some of my girlfriends. I had such joint pain. It was unbelievable. And one of the reasons was because the estradiol was too high. But they say give it another chance, and I did, but third strike, you're out, and I'm not going to give it a third try. I tried it twice. So that's one of the things that I'm sure you're so knowledgeable and experienced with, is these pellets, and Mark was talking about creams.
Well, there are so many delivery methods, and each person is individual, and there can be Sharpies, which is like a little piece of, I wouldn't call it gum, but it's like a chew that you put between the cheek and the teeth.
Sure.
And you just dissolve it over time. There can be topicals, like you said, like cream. There can be capsules. Some people prefer to take it orally, and their system's
none of us are identical to the next person. And so that's the challenge for you as physicians, is every individual's DNA is different, everyone's individual needs are different. It's not one shoe fits all.
Yeah, and that's you bring up something really cool, and that's where, as brilliant as there is in medicine, there's brilliant minds, there's brilliant stuff, but that thinking that one size fits all is where we're wrong.
Right.
Because like what my wife just said is every person is to be treated individually. When you step back into the system treats people as an algorithm.
Right.
If you fit into this box, you must fit in this group. And that doesn't work.
Yeah.
And that's why you have like the fourth leading cause of death, depending on what statistical database you look at, is properly prescribed medications and properly done procedures.
Right.
And that goes, whoa, everybody knows there's a risk there. But do we pay attention to that individually? And I think anytime you have a death that's caused by a proper action, it's like, ought to make you think and go, wait a minute, maybe I'm not doing something right. Maybe I need to change my thinking. And as challenging as it's been, that's been our sort of methodology for a long time. I mean, we've always tried to look outside the box.
Right.
Because the box is not working,
Right.
our health is not terrible. Where's there been history?
Right.
And I'm not quoting Mark and Michelle statistics. I'm talking CDC. And nobody's going to argue that we're not creating a bunch of disease.
Right.
So what are we doing wrong? And I think it boils down to that statement. Okay, we're not treating people as people. They become prophets. And that's a concerning thing.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know if we want to go down the road of insurance, because that's
terrible.
taking a walk down hell, pardon my language. That's pretty much what it is, because they don't want us to be healthy, but it's all a financial thing.
Why would they? Right? I mean, look at if insurance is akin to a for-profit business,
Right.
whether it be car repair, home repair, lawn mowing, a lawnmower a person does for a living, wouldn't want to teach you how to have grass that never needs to get cut.
Right.
That doesn't make any sense, right? So why would insurance teach you, much less fun, something that teaches you how to use them? I mean, again, I'm not knocking insurance. I'm just thinking that our expectation is wrong.
Right.
We just got to think that.
Well, the cool thing is with some of the functional testing that we have the ability to dive a little deeper and look at that system a little deeper. Like in your case, let's talk about pellets for just a second. When you look at the metabolites and how the system is using them, and even the genetics of how we put those on the system, we can come up with the right solution. The testing is not extremely expensive. It's affordable to get the right treatment for your specific system.
It's awesome. Because for you that don't know what the Sherwoods do, they also do, like she was talking about, is genetic testing, which is huge because we aren't all made the same.
We are not all made the same. Interestingly enough, genes have changed about 2% in 10,000 years.
Which is crazy because most people think it's
Right. The genes are the loaded gun. It is the environment that pulls the trigger. So if you put toxicity or pollution or negativity on the genes express themselves in certain ways. Also, genes have cofactors. They need certain nutrients. The nutrients are deficient, and there are genes that help detoxification. When those nutrients are missing, you can't detoxify those estrogen products. You can't detoxify the hormones that come in. So understanding some of those pathways and those cofactors is very important to individuals' functions.
Isn't that the drop the mic moment? It's like, and here's that, and here's that. Wow.
It's interesting with the genes. We've done this a lot, as you know, for the last probably 10 years. We started off thinking we were really cool. We had about 4 genetic SNPs we were working with, thinking this is awesome, and now there's hundreds of them. And the point being is the uniqueness of the individual continues to come out. And to me, and I know to you it's going to make sense, the more the uniqueness comes out in the individual, that just proves the omnipotence of God.
Right.
Because he made everybody unique. They're not the same. And the more we try to pull that back and that you are the same, the more anti-God we become. And this stretches the lines, whether it be political, physical, or financial, it doesn't matter. And the more we do that, the more we're really getting in the way of God's perfect will for us, because he says, I have a plan for you. Who's you? Well, that's all of us individually, isn't it? Right? So I think we need to start looking at it differently. The genes tell us on the shore that's unique.
Which is such a blessing because, you know, when you think about it, I love when I use the acronym edging God out as the ego. And so some people are just too hard-headed to be willing to say, okay, I don't know enough to be able to make this good decision and it's out of my bandwidth, and so I need to rely on Mark and Michele to be able to direct my path in my medical needs when it comes to especially the hormones, because that's probably the biggest concern I have to deal with at this point. Knock on wood, and thank you, Jesus, it's only that. But there's also obviously leaning on Jesus as the great physician and great healer, right? As Michele and Mark were talking about, it isn't just about the physical, it's the physical, emotional, spiritual.
Well, we find that most physical issues and ailments are rooted in emotional or spiritual brokenness. Now, yes, there are certain things that we're born with, etc., and otherwise, but a lot of things are caused by the person who themselves in there.
Right? What you think about comes about. So we talk about the mental part of it. It's what we focus on expands. So obviously you need to be focusing on the positive, not the negative. And right now in our country, there's a lot of turmoil as we are here collectively regarding the November election and how that can affect us physically, emotionally, spiritually, and financially. Yes.
Well, we've made a very big point to focus on personal governance, self-governance. We have to be healthy here so that we can go out there and do the right things for the kingdom.
Amen.
I think that,
Yeah.
I think we got to really understand it. And we're putting, in my opinion, I'll say it because it's not an indictment upon anything or anybody. It's a simple observation. And we're putting too much emotional effort into believing that one day, one administration, one person is going to change the world. That's dangerous. Now, I'm not saying that there's an impact to be had, that there is, no question. And I think we all know what I'm talking about. You know, I think the current administration is horrible. And I think that the one that we're trying to see in there is going to be better. I think that's a universal, from this group standpoint, agreement. However, whatever happens in November is 4 years. What about year 5, 6, 10? We need to start thinking beyond that, because if we put all our eggs in one basket, we are severely cutting off God's plan for things. The kingdom purpose, we need to understand, you know, the God that we serve is not a U.S. God. He's not. He is a God of the world, and he cares about people. He loves people that don't love him.
Right.
I mean, just think about that. The people that are right now openly criticizing God is really, in God's eyes, us. It's called sinful behavior. And we've got to start thinking differently about this and realize that God wants Joe Biden to go to heaven.
Absolutely does.
He does. No.
Hell, although God gives us free will, right?
That's right.
But you know, when you think about just the shortest passage in the Bible is Jesus wept.
He did.
And he weeps for the Bidens. He
It's unbelief.
weeps for those that don't know him. And he's standing there with his arms wide open saying, I'm here. I will never leave you or forsake you. I'll always be here, but I'm giving you free will. So we need to be very careful about the choices we make.
We don't need to be seeking retribution, retaliation, revenge. The Bible talks about, judgment is mine, said the Lord. And I'm not the one. Our job, your job, our job is to communicate hope. Hope in God and the world. Do we have all the answers? No. Are we capable of doing goofy things? Yes.
We're human.
We are. And we're capable of that. So we need to step back a minute. We mentioned ego.
Yes, as
Edging
you got
God.
up.
We need to live in the idea that we're capable of anything good or bad. And that at this time in history, our job is to participate, yes, get involved, yes, vote, yes, be active, yes, be vocal and supportive of whatever you believe. But mostly, shine a light of love.
best talk out there. You don't need to add to the papers.
No.
So, what is it? The power of the tongue?
Power of death is like the power of the tongue holds life in the boom key.
Yeah. And so, if you're going to not use it correctly, maybe put a lock on it until you can. Right.
And we know what the genes do and how they respond to the spoken word. And that's not just voodoo stuff. That's simple physiology now. It's been proven.
Yes, positive and negative charge.
Totally.
Every cell has a positive and negative charge.
Yes.
You know, and so people that are not in the medical field don't really get that. And so it's like, again, what we think about tells about. So we want to be thinking about the positive and the fact that, yes, we're in a challenging time, but there's light at the end of the tunnel. God's plan is so much bigger than ours. We have to trust Him.
Absolutely. At the closure of our genetic reports, we always put a positive affirmation in there for the individual to speak over themselves every single day. And it's just like food can be toxic, the air can be toxic, you know, vacations can be toxic, relationships can be toxic, everything can be toxic. So we put that there so that every day can be started not only in prayer but with positive affirmation over oneself.
And you all need to know that the Sherwood.tv has so much information that you're definitely going to want to go to their website because they have their supplements, they have these affirmations, they have all the things that they're wanting to share with you to make your life better. And that's where you're going to definitely want to go to Sherwood.tv for their information. And what else would you like them to know about who you are and what your prayers are for you?
Well, I mean, for us, here's the thing, and this is Mark talking here, you know, we're just normal people. We're getting up every day, hopefully listening to God walking in the call we're supposed to do. Everybody's got this little slice of the pie to follow. You know, it's gifting for callings. And I want people to walk in the idea that there's a gifting and calling for them as well. You can't be somebody else. I mean, both of us got a lot of experience trying to be somebody or something else, and that doesn't work very well. You know, you're only you, and so we need to begin to live that way on purpose. You know, everybody says, I got a purpose, but live like that, man. And that means we got to put effort into physical, emotional, intellectual, spiritual, financial health. And that all goes into that same directional thing. And so, for us, man, people can know that we do care about them, we do love them. And I don't, whether they're a patient or not, I mean, we love everybody that's listening here. And that's sincere, it's true.
And I know that from
It's
your
just
heart.
true.
Yes, I know that from both of you, that you are servant leaders. You want nothing but the best for people, which is just such a blessing for all of us because we know that it's not motivated by some of the other people that are not doing it from the heart, they're doing it for profit. I mean, I remember the days when I was working in pharmaceuticals as a registered nurse, and I knew that I was a short timer. I think I lasted 4 years. It's like, I can't do this anymore because I didn't see the heart in a lot of it. In fact, the only thing, I had a platelet-derived growth factor because your physicians might appreciate this, and I loved it because it was healing diabetics, but also so they didn't end up losing their limbs. And so the drug was called Tyrannus. It was in the, you know, the just the beginning phases. It was like $1,000 for an ounce. Thank God for patient support programs because here's diabetics that don't have that kind of funding. But I'll tell you, when they took that medication away from me, because I could be a nurse at the same time that I was, talking to them about this medication. So I felt like I was walking out my calling at that point in my life. But when they took that medication away from me, and then I was just like, the pill pushing person, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Because if it's not about the heart, you are all, both of you are just speak from the heart, work from the heart, talk from the heart. You're walking, talking example of God's love. And I know that you could really appreciate that, that's what you're here for, is to make a difference in people's life. I always say, what's the fingerprint of your legacy going to be when you leave this earth?
Well, we call ourselves hope dealers.
Yeah.
So we are here to give you hope, inspiration. If you're hurting today, you're out there, you feel like you're at the bottom, that you can't go on, you can't continue, go look yourself in the mirror. You have been with you 365 days of the year for your entire life, and you're still going. Tell yourself you love yourself. Tell yourself that hope is in you. The Holy Spirit never leaves you or forsakes you. You can find us at Sherwood.tv. stand up, never give up, never back down, and never surrender.
Amen. So, with that, I think that's a wrap. And don't forget Sherwood.tv and come to katie-huff.com and learn about the women's retreats, but also follow us on Rumble and YouTube and Facebook and X and Spotify and Apple, because this information is priceless. And I'm just so grateful that you're tuning in. And thank you to Dr. Michele and Dr. Mark for their heart, for their just wanting nothing but the best for you. And they definitely are leaving that beautiful fingerprint on this earth. So thank you. God bless you. All right.
My name is Katie Huff Mortensen, and my ministry is Katie Huff Ministries out of Lolo, Montana. Unfortunately, women in general, a lot of times will have self-betrayal and shame and settling in their careers or in their relationships. And so I am in the process of helping them to be, do, and have all God created them to be, and to set themselves free from whatever is holding them back.
My wife went to her women's retreat and she came back a different woman. She had so much more confidence.
I would say in general, they do not see or recognize how they're worth. They're worthy of it all, and they've been, beat down from a career or a relationship or family relationships, or they're just shouldering so much of the past is one big thing. And then the other thing is not realizing who they are in the eyes of Christ, that they are forgiven, they are loved unconditionally, that there are no mistakes, there's only lessons, and that God's plan is so perfect. And so they go from walking in clay, not sure, a little depressed, sad, feeling terrible about their past and being stuck and not moving forward, knowing that there's something much bigger for them in the future.
I had the wonderful chance to meet Katie when I went to a conference, and the first thing I noticed about her is she had an amazing energy.
Well, great people like the women that have come in the past and continue to come is that they are coming because they know that there is light at the end of their struggle.
She's an awesome leader, a mentor.
I have seen over the last 14 years of doing this, women come in broken, and they are sad and depressed, frustrated, and they walk out smiling. They've had a breakthrough of what they can be, do, and have.
Attend her retreat, and you will never be the same.
I have known Katie Huff Mortensen for about 16 years, and she is just an amazing leader.
It is pretty incredible. It's in Paradise, Montana, and that's not by chance. It's an absolutely gorgeous surrounding. There's a hot springs there that women can relax in between sessions. They can have their cup of coffee in the morning in the hot springs. We have breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and the food is incredible. We are in a Camp Bighorn is the name of the location, and it is a Christian campsite. We have 2 sessions in the morning, we have 1 in the afternoon, and then this past year we actually did a ropes course where it was suspending ourselves and getting over fear, which was a huge stretch of your courage to be set free. And in this fall of last year, we actually went floating down the river in rafts as an excursion. We have the Bison Refuge as another excursion. So there's a big mix of, education and support and sessions, followed by outings and relaxation, great food, great camaraderie, sisterhood, where people feel very safe and they have major breakthroughs. They can buy tickets at Eventbrite under Katie-Huff Ministries. So katy-huff.com is the website that they can go to get more information. So Katie-Huff, HUFF.com on my website, and they can see where it says events. And the cost depends on their lodging, in the sense that they have 3 different tiers of lodging. They can be on the river, and that is the best view. You're on the river. The second one is in a cabin with 2 queen beds, and then a third option. So the rooming is the difference between anywhere from $1,500 to $2,000 for those 4 days. and it includes everything in the food and the adventures and the lodging. I want you to go to katy-huff.com/events and fill out the form so I can call you and lead you from where you are today to the event in May 4th through the 7th, 2025 in Paradise, Montana, which is an incredible location where you will be set free to live your best life ever.